What I wish I'd known was to know that it affects everyone differently.
Every chemo can be vastly different.
So chemo, that was what I feared the most from the beginning.
I feel like I already knew everything before I started.
Advice would be listen to your body, and you will be, if they say you'll be tired, anticipate you'll be more tired than they tell you.
For anyone that's going through chemotherapy, you just have to take it as it comes. And know that if you have really bad side effects on one treatment, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have them on the next treatment.
One thing I wish I'd done is accepted help more and asked for it. Because people always offer to help, but sometimes they're kind of empty offerings of help. And I should have just accepted when people did do that.
Just like don't stress out, because stress is not good. Stress is not good for you. It won't help with your outcome. And so just come in, and if you can, get some ice compression for your hands and feet to prevent neuropathy, depending on the type of chemotherapy that you're gonna have to get infused. So for me, I was Taxotere is something that has been linked to neuropathy. So I did that. And then also I would say try to eat bland foods when you're going through it, but do eat. Eating is number one, because if you don't eat, you're going to feel terrible. I mean, I know your stomach hurts. I know all these things are going on, but you've got to eat something.
I went into chemotherapy with a very open mind. My first treatment was done through my right arm in my veins. They put the drugs through there. But I wish I would have known from the get-go that that would just really destroy my veins, because I just already don't have strong veins to begin with. So after that first round of chemotherapy, I actually had a port surgically inserted right up here, and I still have the scar, and it's a battle scar. But I think going into chemotherapy, I wish I would have known just to get the port inserted and not deal with the veins in your arms, because to this day, they have a hard time drawing blood from my right arm because of that. I really feel like the chemo just shot my veins there.
One of the biggest differences that made for my side effects was movement. Finding some way to incorporate movement. I do swimming 3 to 5 days a week, and it's not hardcore swimming. It's not Olympic swimming. I'm literally getting into the pool and doing these old lady exercises, where it's where I'm walking in the water, but my neuropathy doesn't bother me when I'm in the water because I'm weightless, so I can do walking back and forth without discomfort. I do lots of just movement, making sure my body is moving.
When I was reading online, it sounded like I kind of wanted to know when my hair loss would start exactly. And most people said it would start about the second week. So I thought, I wish I knew that, because I remembered after the first, for a week, I was just kind of obsessive about my hair. I would wake up and be like, are you leaving me yet? Are you still here? And then when it was still here, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm one of those lucky people.
I would say pack a chemo bag. I packed a chemo bag, and it had it had a very soft blanket. I would light a candle in the room because when I was gonna be there for a couple hours. I had a book, I had chapstick, all essential things that made me feel better. And then I would bring chicken salad with me from Whole Foods, because that like chemo days are like the only day I could eat that, because otherwise I would be like sick. Like if you have a treat or a food or something that you really like, and you feel well enough to have it while you're doing like chemo, treat yourself to something on that day.
Whenever I wouldn't eat, I would feel terrible. When I would eat, I started to feel better. And so nutrition is so important. And then movement. So when you do feel good enough, go outside and take a walk. I'm not saying like do what I did 24 hours after chemo, but go and move, because it's been linked to way better outcomes. You're going to feel better. You won't have all that fatigue. I know it sounds weird. You're going to work out and then you're not going to have fatigue, but it actually works. When I worked out responsibly, greater than 3 days after chemo, I did see improvements in how I felt from working out.
Eating and finding ways to eat. I work with a dietitian, and when I was and that would be another big, I guess, recommendation is find a dietitian to work with while you're going through chemo, because things are going to change. The taste of things are going to change. Your appetite is going to change. And you're in survival mode.
Some other things I would recommend for individuals going through chemotherapy of any form is to bring Jolly Ranchers, because a lot of times the chemo, you can taste it in your mouth as it's going through, and it's just thinking about that is like grossing me out. But so Jolly Ranchers were a huge game changer because I could taste that flavor instead. Another big thing is to suck on ice, because some of the drugs can give you canker sores or just different sores in your mouth. So I had a really great team of nurses who would say, okay, let's get the ice chips out and start sucking on that.
You got to get through it. You got to do it. So you just got to try it. Put your big girl pants on, smile, and you're not going to want to do it. And as time goes on, you're really not going to want to keep going back and doing it. But do it.